Hello guys, and welcome back to the Sino-Soviet Union playthrough. In the last episode, Dema went ahead and took over Fiji, giving himself now a staging point in the Pacific Ocean from which to invade what used to be an undisturbed horde of NATO countries. On the other hand, I took over North Yemen, granting me territories that will allow me to guard the exit of the Suez Canal leading into the Indian Ocean. In this episode, we will end up setting in motion some plans that will lead to some of the future most hilarious and or most consequential wars that you will have seen so far in this playthrough. Hope you guys enjoy it.
Darn, South Africa is still at war with Portugal.
Still at war, yeah? And they've taken some things, but overall it's slow and really drudgerous. Oh wow, I'm literally making so much oil some days that I have to actually disable most of my production because there's not enough buyers for oil. That's how much oil I have. That I literally don't have enough people to sell it to.
Darn, you have a whole bunch of uranium that you haven't tapped yet.
Yes, I do. Not to mention all the uranium in my colonies, too.
How many uranium mines did you build at one time that just screwed you over?
It was 10. It was 10 when I had a lot less money available. Of course, I could have gotten around it by just lowering my maintenance spending. But the number was 10. Are you okay, Kazakhstan?
No, they're not.
They're at 3 mil. They usually been maintaining 40 mil. They're at 3 and they're starting to bleed people.
Yeah, you might have to do an annex before a takeover.
Yeah, I might have to annex them. That would put a lot more uranium in my territory. And it would link my north with my south directly. God, they have so much uranium. And it would give me another 8 million people. I'll watch them closely to see if they recover shortly or not.
I would say plan on taking them over, but see if you can get Trucial Omen before annexing them.
Quite frankly, there's none of these blues in the Middle East right now are really worth anything.
I was talking about so you can get a direct land point.
A direct land point
because
with what?
It would
direct land point with what?
Basically build a road network through into another land point into Saudi Arabia.
I mean, this is just connected in Saudi Arabia either way. There's no other way to get here. The only other way to get to Trucial Omen other than through Saudi Arabia is by sailing there. And look at what part of the world it's in. No one that is our enemy is going to get here. If a large-scale fleet mobilizes through the Suez, I will see it.
I had to do some inflation management.
Your inflation is really fucking low.
It should get higher because it got a bit higher. It was like 1.6. So I opted to build 12 uranium mines.
That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is just to leave your military active.
And I'm actually gonna unlock my uranium.
Leave your military active. Whatever amount of money you spend on the military will give you the same exact inflationary effect as if you spent it on building mines and stuff.
Well, I'm gonna need uranium. I'm selling like a huge chunk of uranium.
Yeah? You're selling your entire fucking stockpile right now. Basically directly to the US. Looks like. Yeah, the US. The US is taking advantage of you selling out your stockpile.
It's fine.
Although, even with you selling all that, the fucking price of uranium is not budging. And it's still favorable. Although it has excellent market availability for right now with you selling out your stockpile. Let's see if that continues once your stockpile is sold out.
Does the US have any uranium deposits?
Plenty, but they're not actually making any.
I asked because I thought it was weird that the AI went against making uranium.
Yeah, I don't know why they have chosen to not just do it themselves, but that's what they chose to do.
Hey, I could tell my, how's my colony doing, by the way? So I might tell my colony that's down here to make a couple uranium places.
I mean, they're just kind of barely holding on by themselves. I don't know if it would be smart to toss that on them.
I mean, they have a 0.2 inflation.
That's exactly my point. Do you not realize what that means? If you make them make uranium things now, they will crash and burn and die. And you will have to annex them.
They might crash and burn anyway if I don't give them anything to build.
They're capped out on debt, it looks like. Their inflation means that they're not spending enough money because they don't have enough money. That being said, Kazakhstan has not recovered, so I'm going to go ahead and do them a favor. Ding! Look at that beautiful red. Venezuela had a coup d'etat, and now... No, wait, that's Ecuador. Similar flags. They had a coup d'etat, and now they fucking love us to death. So support that shit. That's a free red right there. Yep, free red. Nice. Another one in the Americas. One that actually has some fabrications, too. That's perfect.
Look what I got.
Nice. Oh, we both got a new ally.
And it secures the northern tip of South America.
And we have a nice web of reds in South America now. Venezuela is someone that I have treaties with, but just over time they just kind of started hating me and moved towards NATO, of course. Peru is someone that might flip if I work on him. I'm so disappointed that Indonesia hasn't flipped. I got their people dissatisfied and everything.
Well, like I said, if they don't flip and we can't keep them neutral, I will devour them.
But hey, slowly we are getting more reds, be they aligned or leaning. The amount of reds is higher than it has ever been.
To be fair, it may not be that much. It's not really that much higher. It's just that we've been devouring blues.
No, it is higher. I'm not looking at the bars. I'm looking at the numbers, Demo.
I said it was higher, but it wasn't much higher.
There was a time where we had like literally 10 reds, Demo. We have 28. That's pretty fucking good.
I mean, we can't really count Malaya in that mix.
We're not counting Malaya. The colonies don't get counted towards that. In fact, they're not even red leaning. They're non-aligned. But the colonies are not counted in the bar. That is only independent countries. And in independent countries, there are 28 red countries right now. Oh, sweet Jesus, look at the debt of the United States. It's at 300 billion, dude.
Yeah, Canada is right there too.
Yeah, Canada. I watched Canada skyrocketing earlier, but now they're up to 200 billion. The U.S. is up to 300 billion. The U.S. and Canada's credit ratings are not being affected, though. They've pulled out massive amounts of debts, but it's not actually hurting them. What are they spending the money on?
Wait.
Is it just to survive? Like,
I think I know why it's not hurting their credit rating, Russ.
Okay.
I need you to test it, and I'm gonna test it as single player. But what if the credit rating score is based off of your GDP per capita, and it's a percentage of that?
Well, your debt in general is based off of all of your economic stats.
So I'm saying since they have such a high...
The thing is, this is not a lot of debt compared to all the money available in their society, and they're not missing any payments, thus their credit rating is high. That's how that works.
On a side note, my uranium plants are, mines are starting to finish. Or did they all finish? No, I still have one.
The market availability for uranium is still excellent ever since you started exporting. I've actually stopped building uranium mines because since you're building them, I'm pretty sure at this rate the market will start to crash. The world GDP per capita average has just passed 3,000. Damn.
Yeah, I'm far under that.
Same, I'm getting more and more under that as time goes by. Because those big blue countries just keep going up and we keep annexing people that are under the average, which isn't helping.
Well, eventually they should hit a wall where they can't increase too much. Unless this game has infinite money generation across the world.
There is no such thing as a wall, even in real life. There is infinite money.
Okay, Res, if there's infinite money, then why do we have large chunks of people hurting to sustain a house on, let's say, half an acre of land, if at the most, a decent vehicle, and food?
I said there's
Along with,
infinite money. I didn't say that we're giving everyone decent amounts of money.
I'm just saying, why can't
That has nothing to do with the fact that there's infinite money or not. That's just people not having money themselves. One thing you're misconstruing here is infinite money does not mean infinite availability. Infinite money means infinite money. There's not infinite supply. You can have all the money in the world, but that can cause a problem. Just like it is, technically, right now in this game, causing problems for people like Canada. For them, making their own goods is probably worthless. Like, they're literally probably cost them twice as much to make, like, just about any good than to just buy it off the world market.
For me, it's very healthy to produce and sell.
Yeah, because your people have so little money that they'll work for cheap, therefore you can make a bunch of stuff and export it to these other countries.
The perks of being a low GDP per capita nation.
Although, does it outweigh the cons of not being able to get enough money by taxing your citizens?
But hey, I'll be getting commercial computers, jet engine improvement, electronic warfare, new metals. Wait, new metals? Okay, that's something you researched a long time ago.
To be fair, everything you're researching is stuff I've researched a long time ago.
That's actually interesting. Mongolia went aligned. Leaning, not aligned.
A lot of them are going leaning, not aligned.
Now, would you have to intervene if I just decided to clear out Mongolia?
Yes. Technically, unless I want my treaty integrity to plummet.
I want to say I have a larger military than India by now.
Oh, without a doubt. I saw the extent of India's military. They don't even have the production to keep up with you.
On a good note, I think I have 450 naval vessels now. Hey, I'm getting rid of your IS-2M heavies or whatever they're called. I'm slowly scrapping them all. Let me give my minister control so he can actually scrap more. Because the only reason I took away his permissions was for the Fiji thing. Oh, and look! You could tell he just got control again.
Yeah, he's actually sending troops out to fucking fortify your country.
And let me actually turn one of my research centers off just so it doesn't kill my economy. Yeah, I just don't trust my minister with that.
With what?
Sending out just enough military out to keep my finances from going south.
Your minister sets just enough people out to defend your entire country. It has nothing to do with finances.
Yeah, I know, and that's why I decided.
If you want it to do with finances, then you have to unlock the minister for military spending. If you've locked it off from him, then of course you can't trust him to do it. You're telling him not to do it.
No, what I meant is deploying units out under a certain financial point.
Yeah, no, anything finance-wise is not even handed by the military minister. Finances are handed by the fucking resource and the finance ministers. The military's only job is to put out enough military to protect your country and to adjust spending to a point of self-sufficiency, or what they think is needed, whether you're at peace or at war. During peacetime, they almost always lower the spending.
I see a bunch of my units possibly going to get scrapped.
One thing the AI does also is it shuffles units around in between, like, let's say you have a bunch of units in one town at one barracks, then it will move them somewhere else and put them in reserves there so that they're there when they need to be there when the fighting starts.
I mean, that could be what's happening, but I was just seeing a bunch of older tech units move. So I was like, maybe that's what's going on. But it looks like they're just fortifying locations right now.
your minister looks like he's still deploying units to send out, because most of your country is still uncovered.
My current defense budget right now is 13 mil.
Mine is 164 mil.
My production's 259 mil. My treasury is 703 mil.
Your treasury is higher than mine, but my everything else is higher than yours. That's the difference of having so many fucking people.
And such a low GDP per capita.
You have to rely on sales for profit when your people are broke. But the problem is, your people can't afford domestic prices very well. And right now, the world economy is just like saturated because no one's fighting each other. There's no large demand for resources. No one's trying to build a whole bunch of new things because everything's kind of saturated right now.
I've figured out exactly how China needs to be played. You have to literally go... I'm not going to be doing much of anything fighting-wise for a while. I'm going to have to sit here, build up my tech, and just go trade happy.
I would disagree. I've played China, and I didn't do that.
I'm just saying for the average player, if you're fully understanding of the game, you can bypass that route.
I'm sure most people that aren't savvy with the game still wouldn't do that. And you don't need to do that as China.
I was saying just build up your GDP per capita by exploiting the rest of the world.
That's not going to build up your GDP per capita, but okay.
What I'm saying is you hit the demand where it's needed. You use that to fuel your technology growth and your GDP per capita increase. And then you start pumping out massive military. Well, you don't just automatically jump up, but you
that is a long-term
ramp up.
strategy, yes. But you can also do a lot of these things at once. Honestly, as China, I would put research to the back. I would only research non-tradables. Like, as anytime I play a country that isn't going to be in the forefront of researching, I barely put any money into it. I just research non-tradables and I buy stuff whenever I feel like I can. It's so much easier that way, and you save so much time. And you don't have to pay for the upkeep of research centers, etc., etc. Especially for broker countries like China, that is just the way to do it. Building up research centers is like exactly the opposite of optimal playing.
I might try that for a future playthrough.
It also helps you keep your inflation better intact, which actually allows you to then keep your military larger and to keep your production rising faster. So you can accomplish literally everything you want by doing the opposite of what you said.
You could actually fuse what you said and what I said together by just focusing purely on non-tradables and building resources to sell to other people.
Well, the thing is that, the research-wise, that's exactly what I said, yeah. But you're leaving out military.
What I meant is like you slowly improve it throughout like the playthrough, and so build like 5 in a row.
5 what in a row?
Like production centers.
Listen, out of everybody I've ever seen play this game, and out of every playthrough I've done, you're one of the only people that tries to make a lot of fabs all at once. I've never seen anyone try to do that before. That's why every time you do it, I go, what are you doing? Holy shit. And then I see you, or I didn't know you were doing it, and I see that you built them. I'm like, wow, you built that much that quick? Damn. Because it surprises me every time, because I'm not used to seeing people do that. All the interceptors and tactical bombers I'm making right now, by the way, are actually, they're all variants of the MiGs, and they're variants unto themselves as well, and they're all high flying. And do you know why that's important?
Wait, you said high flying?
Yes, so there's 3 layers to air combat. Close air, mid-air,
so that they
and
can
high
fly
air.
higher than enemy planes, because
High airplanes tend to get better range on their weapons. Less damage, but better range. And, at this point in history especially, There's
Don't
little
the
to
US
nothing
only have-
that can actually hit you in the fucking sky. Most countries right now would not be able to even hurt my planes, and the ones that
Isn't
can
the US
can do like
lacking
2
in
damage.
the height department, like how high they can
Oh
go
no,
up?
the US was the innovator of high flying planes. The US spied on the Soviet Union in the 60s by putting up high flying planes that the Soviet Union couldn't shoot down, and they just took pictures of everything. The Soviet Union started innovating because they didn't like that weakness.
Okay, North Vietnam, I don't like how you went to leaning.
I don't like how any of them are going to leaning, but not one of them has gone to non-aligned, so it's fine. US has already burned through more than half of all their new debt. Keep taking out debt, you cheeky bastards. I dare you. France is still basically out of money, just barely hanging in there.
Look at Belgium.
Yeah. Belgium and East Germany and Romania. Oh
Well, I
damn,
was trying to point to the
Czechoslovakia.
other side.
Czechoslovakia only has 3 mil right now. Fuck. They're deflating like a motherfucker. Damn. Stop failing on me, you Reds! Get good or get eaten. God, it's the fucking world economy right now, I'm telling you. This world needs a massive war. The problem is, I don't want us to be the ones to fight that war, because then we're the ones using all the money. You know?
Sadly, at this point, the only massive war that would happen is one we're not ready for.
That's not true, because anything can happen. For example, South Africa, of all people, got into a war with Portugal. Now, if they declared war, directly on Portugal instead, that could have drawn all of NATO into some giant invasion of Africa. That's the thing, is these little things can happen. For all we know, Spain could want to attack Portugal or France. They probably won't, but it could happen. Anything can happen in this game.
Why do I still have IS-2M heavies all over the place?
Because they're probably getting slowly decommissioned as new things are made. Tends to be how that goes.
Well, I'm gonna speed up the process.
Oh, it happened. The uranium market is saturated.
Oh,
Exports
no.
are static, and imports availability is excellent. So if I were you, I'd refrain from making any more uranium mines for a bit.
Oh,
we have to wait for some more countries to catch up in tech, so that they start using uranium.
Well, I hate to say it, but I'm gonna be one of the next ones.
Oh, you're gonna be using your own uranium then. That won't really help with selling quite. I don't know why I've only just now thought of this. But I've only just now thought of this. What if we both invaded Japan? The US couldn't even dream of stopping us.
That would be a bunch of border gore.
Not quite, not quite. Take into account the shape of Japan. It's a bunch of islands. For example, I could go directly for that northern island. It doesn't even connect to the mainland.
I mean, that is true. And you do have technically naval superiority.
Yeah, we could combine our naval fleets, destroy a bunch of US troops before they even make landing. If we combine our forces, probably.
We'd have to preset it all outside of their island chain. You take the northern section, I take the bottom section.
There would probably be some border gore at the end of it, though. That is true. But here's the question. Would you rather attack Japan yourself, get the whole thing, but risk it being a very costly war on your side, or have some support for me and risk border gore?
Oh, that northern island would be kind of good for you. 'Cause that's where a decent portion of their I'm not saying it's a large chunk, but it has a decent amount of pop.
Most of their pop is definitely in the mainland. But the island does have some pop, yeah. I mean, I'm perfectly content to not attack Japan, but instead go ahead, start taking some other places near me. Maybe betray Finland. Maybe go for Trucial Oman or some other places in the Middle East. Maybe look at Africa. Maybe look at Spain. I don't need anything from Japan. It's just an idea that I had.
I have 6 bars, you have 4.
This is all the units that my AI has chosen to auto-deploy. By the way, I will tell you the 3 ticks that I have in my cabinet priorities for military, because maybe it'll help you out. I have arms race checked, so my guy scraps my units for me and makes the newer ones. I have decreased unit readiness, so that if tensions go up, I don't get any of the annual preparedness costs associated with it, even if it comes at a negative to my own troops. When wartime actually hits, I know it won't really be that much of a problem. And thirdly, I have increased reserve personnel on, because it actually reduces the amount of deployed units. It ensures that you are protected pretty much all over your country, but it stops it from getting excessive. Although if you have spending unlocked, that will also raise military salaries, so be careful about that, because he's going to try to encourage new personnel to enter the reserves.
Basically, I had everything but that third one you mentioned too.
Yeah, increased reserve personnel is a pretty nice one. So long as you have spending locked, it won't actually increase your costs or anything, but it will decrease your deployments.
I wasn't exactly sure what that did, so I left it unchecked.
Alright, I'm finally going to lower my naval production even more than it already has been lowered. I'm going to scrap 2 more naval production facilities and bring my number down to 18. I'm going to go ahead and turn 2 aircraft productions online, bring my number to 17. I scrapped a whole bunch of my aircraft productions, so now my production all around, aside from missiles, is actually maxed out at 30, 17, 18. I have 4 missile productions, but I only have 1 active. My navy is just so big at this point, and it's so advanced, I don't need that much production. The US is up to 3 million deployed active units, buddy. The US is definitely researching designs, because I can see that they have the Huey Cobra and the Sea King researched. They have their Rangers and Green Berets researched. M75s. Ooh, they got some Pattons, Conqueror Heavies. Their tank tech is still in the 60s, but these are still very recent. Commandos from the 70s. Labs from the 70s. RD from 77. Yeah, they're actually researching a lot of designs. Air launch, they've researched some new kinds of nukes, as well as some missiles. Their carriers are just all over the place. Yeah, they're keeping up with their designs alright.
That's why I have to keep up with my stuff, and I need more air production because I only have 87 planes. I thought of something that might be more efficient. Res, you said you needed pop, right?
Not like desperately, but I'm still at a point where with the amount of troops I have and that I can field, I could use more pop.
Seeing as this area is loyal to me, what if you just pass this off to me and take the entirety of Japan?
Wait. So, wait, you're saying I invade Japan, and you get Dalian back.
And I'll support your push into Japan.
That's such a funny trade.
I mean, you basically double your population almost.
Yeah, but again, if I really wanted pop, I have a really tasty looking Ukraine just asking to be annexed at any time. I'm not really worrying about it. Although I do like your thinking. I do like your thinking. I like that you're thinking like that.
I just figured it might be a good idea because you could basically build a land bridge from Yuzhno-Sakhalinsk down to...
No, I cannot. That's not how that works. There's international water.
Oh yeah, international water.
I could make a land bridge from those islands northeast of Japan into Japan, but I don't even have a land bridge between those islands to begin with, because they're just not important enough to warrant a land bridge. Alright, so here's my question. Do you have a target in mind that's not Japan, that you're trying to pass Japan off to me or something?
I was just trying to think of what would be the best play, as like a combined effort, and Japan being annexed into me, I feel won't do as much as it being annexed into you.
Honestly, I figured you would have just like colonized Japan or something. They have so many people, they look like they would make a good colony.
I mean, I was saying about throwing that offer and see if you thought it was a good idea.
I mean, maybe. I don't know, but I'm not. I don't know. I don't know how worth going after Japan right now is.
If I see you staging units outside while you build war justification, I'll start migrating my units in that area as well.
This could lead to one of the largest naval battles of the entire playthrough. You know, the sad thing is Japan would make such a good colony. I'd be sad to annex it.
Yes, but look at the opportunity you get with the Japan's pop.
That is.
You could actually start skyrocketing your population, and you'd be right around the point of the U.S.
Speaking of the U.S., they took out more debt.
I'm trying to find like the best point to land. Try to find somewhere that's like in the middle ground between the two.
Because technically for this, I only need to do 2 landings. I need to do 1 landing for the North Island and 1 landing for the rest of it. Kind of. There's still that other island in the middle, but that's less of a concern because it's so close and there's no international waters getting there.
I would say either Nagasaki, or if you feel a bit more comfortable, you can always go with Niigata. I was just suggesting that because, I mean, while they're not the strongest units, if we can pull Korea into it, that's a lot of PT boats.
That's a lot of patrol boats. Alright, I have troops and I have ships all on the way. I am working on getting some war justification.
I'm setting troops outside their borders as we speak. This will be our first unified assault.
Yeah, this will be our first unified assault. I don't know if I'm sending maybe 2 little land forces to start. I'm sending basically 400 for the initial landing. I don't know if that's too much or too little.